Good morning, everybody. TS Homestead Prepping here. It is Sunday, the 22nd of January, 2022. I'm not getting into too many projects today. I do have a Dutch oven and oven reseasoning. I had to work on some rust spots. I just picked that up last week. So I heat it up and I grind in with my steel wool pad some kosher salt, and that will work, bring that rust out a little bit. And then I wash it and then let it dry, bring it back up to temperature, and then I start my seasoning process. And so the next round I'll probably be cooking bacon, a couple pounds of bacon in it to bring it up naturally. This video is going to be a little bit different. I cover this every now and then, but not too much. And it's already out in the news. A lot of other preppers have already been covering it, what have you. But it really didn't hit home until I went into the farm store yesterday and was talking to the manager there. I stopped and got some corn to bring up here to the cabin that I put out for the deer and stuff throughout the season. And we have raccoons and possums. They'll eat anything up here. So it's basically time to buckle up. I mean, tighter than what we already have been. I haven't had too many projects over in the bunkhouse because you know, we do have to just sit back and relax and enjoy what we've already done and recoup some of the cost on that. But basically this is going to be going over, the biggest thing is job cuts. And I'm sure a lot of you already heard this, but I'm still going to put it out there. Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, they're slashing 12,000 jobs. Amazon's over 18,000, Microsoft's over 10. Wells Fargo, and this one because of the housing market and also the loans, because with the inflation rising and the dollar dropping, they're losing millions of dollars. It's just ridiculous, the amount of money that they're losing. FedEx has announced that they're reducing Sunday hours, so if you're expecting packages and stuff like that and you normally get them on a Sunday, that may disappear in your area. But one of the reasons I wanted to do this on the jobs is a lot of these people that are in these positions, they're tech positions or higher level positions. Some of these people are going to find out what the world is really all about. They're going to end up having to humble themselves and maybe get a hands-on job. Many of us out here work with our hands every single day. Physical jobs that they may possibly have looked down on in the past. Well, they're going to have to be, if they want to pay bills, they're going to have to lower their standards a little bit in their eyes. For us, many of us, it's an everyday prideful, get the job done, get the projects done, and step back and look and say, man, I did that, you know. But what struck me is when I was having a conversation with the manager in our local farm store near our house, and I asked him, I said, you're a little short staffed today. He said, well, two of his part-time employees didn't show up. They were sick. He said they were honestly sick, so he would rather them stay home, and I get it. Many of you know I work in the medical field during the week, and it's flat out, if you're sick, don't come to work, because they don't want it spreading through whatever you have spreading through you know, the workforce, and the people that we work with have a compromised immune systems. But going back to, I digress, sorry, going back to the job thing, I got talking to him where, you know, 25 years ago, I worked further down the road, and I worked at a farm store that's no longer in existence, but there's other farm stores that have grabbed some of their locations and reopened them, and then they split off into two different ownerships. So he basically offered me a job right on the spot. He said he got my name. He said, if you're interested in part-time position, he said, I'll work you 5.5 hours, 8 hours, 2 8-hour shifts. It doesn't matter. He just needs help. He told me go on to the website. He'd watch for my name. So not really interested in going back in the retail side again. But if I need to, I would. And the cool thing about it is, if you're out of a job, if you're part of these layoffs, and you're willing to do the work, there are jobs out there that will hire you. Whether you have experience in that field or not, they're more than willing to train you to keep the ball rolling. You know, these are important jobs that a lot of people look down on because you know, they're used to their lives being way up here, and they just walk into a store, buy whatever they want, and leave, and never even give one consideration, one thought of how, not only how it got manufactured and got there, but who is actually providing them with the service that they just walked in and out so easily and grabbed their merchandise. So just keep that in mind. 2023, these cuts are going to continue. And unfortunately, at some point, it's going to hit home for all of us. Part of the financial craziness that's going on right now, and everybody is already aware of it. They said inflation dropped to like 6.5% or something like that. We all know from a basis at home that's a crock. You know, nothing that we purchase to sustain life every day has only went up 6.5%. Most of the stuff, you know, food, fuel, stuff like that, it's 10, 20, some stuff's 50, 60% increase. The corn I grabbed yesterday, a month ago, it was $2 cheaper than it was today. And that's just, it's just going to keep climbing because everything involved. One thing that concerns me about 2023, I mean, we all know that the petrodollar is dropping. We already know that the Middle East is working with China. They're already trading yen and gold for oil. It is very easily to speculate that our dollar may drop an additional 25%, if not more, over the course of 2023. It may not happen overnight, but I actually foresee two currencies. I'm looking at the US dollar, which is losing ground every day because they took it off the gold standard and put it on the petrol standard, and the yen. It may not be for a year from now or what have you, but what's going to happen is, if that takes place, there is more US dollars outside of the United States than there is in the United States. So if there becomes a second currency that a lot of the other half of the world is using, and those dollars make it, and they'll make it back to the United States, you're going to be losing an additional 25 to 50% of the dollar's value from wherever it's sitting when this happens. Sorry, I keep looking down. I just scratched my little thoughts down on here because I won't remember all this. Essentially, because of the situation that we're in, more and more people are turning away from the US dollar, and that is not good for us here at home. And even the big banks, they just set aside like $4 billion for the quote recession that's coming, which we all know that we're already in, to basically make their investors feel better. If it comes down to like bailouts and stuff on these bigger banks, they already have it on the back burner where there's only so much they're going to get from the U.S. government. There's only, I mean, we can't just keep printing, but they are. They, the current administration said the other day, they don't care who's underneath of them in Congress. They're just going to print and pay and buy whatever they want to buy, which is just madness. But what people don't realize is you could have, let's say, $50,000, $60,000 sitting in the bank, and you wake up tomorrow morning and only have half of that. And the bank has actually taken your money so they can survive and give you back stock options in its place. A lot of people say, well, they can't do that. Well, they can. And there's been small cases in the past where they have. So if you have your money in like these bigger banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase Morgan, places like that, the little guys, the smaller banks may be a little more stable for your money right now. Look at, gold and silver. That has survived the test of time forever. And they're speculating that, and this is sheer speculation, I'm not an economist, and most of this is my opinion on what information that I've gathered, deciphered, put my own thoughts to it, and threw out what I thought was garbage and kept what I thought was important. It's highly possible that gold could double by the end of 2023. And if that happens, that drives the value of the US dollar down even further. And so they're speculating that gold could easily hit $3,000 to $4,000 an ounce, and silver could go well over $100 an ounce. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you have a chunk of change sitting around that's in the bank, you might want to think about switching it over into something that's actually tangible. Because bottom line, the dollar is really no more than this napkin right here. It's just a piece of paper, and its value is based on just sheer market speculation, and it's so volatile. It could basically disappear in the blink of an eye, or the value of it anyway. Another thing I want to hit on is, they're doing everything they possibly can to switch us over to a digital currency. I don't know that that's going to happen anytime in the near future, especially with the hiccup that the Bank of America had the other day. They own Venmo, and someone that had $20 woke up the next morning and had like 400,000 in their account. There was people that had 10,000 and woke up with $20. They say they weren't hacked. They say it was a glitch in the system, but who really knows? You're never going to know the truth. They're still, to this day, that was like a week or so ago, they're still trying to decipher who had what in their account. This has not completely smoothed out yet. That's how vulnerable digital currency is. I mean, with the stroke of a keyboard, whatever, if you had $20 in there, stroke of a keyboard, it could be gone. Or a glitch or a hack or anything. Basically, just do the best you can, prepare yourself. I know things are expensive, and I see all the time where people say, well, I'm applying for jobs, and they say they're hiring, but I walk in and they're not. That's why I brought up the example of the store I was just in yesterday. I shop there at least once a week on an average, sometimes twice a week. And usually it's usually on the weekends, and it's usually better staffed than that. You may be stocking shelves, you may be running a register. If you're in a store like that, you may be moving seasonal items around, putting mowers together, for the spring, putting wood splitters together for the fall, whatever the case may be, but they're out there. It's just basically whether you want to do them or not. And a lot of these people that are on my list, those thousands of people, they're eventually going to find out the hard way, because even if they get unemployment, it's only going to last so long. But I just wanted to hop on here and cover a couple of those items. I definitely appreciate you guys watching my video, sharing them out, hitting the thumbs up. It means a lot to me. It really does. I'm not in this to, make a ton of money off of YouTube or do Amazon links or anything like that. When I share stuff, products, it's because I've used them and I believe in them and they've held up well. It's not for profitability standpoints. I do want to answer a question. Someone, they had seen me working on a project the other day and sent me an email. They seen I was carrying and they wanted to know what I was carrying. Well, I have two primaries that I carry. The other day, I was carrying, and I'm not going to break them down because they are loaded and they are hot. This is a Glock 42 chambered in 380, and depending on where I'm at as to what I carry. When I'm around here working and stuff like that, I'll carry this because it's a little more comfortable because I'm bending over a lot. If I'm out and about on a daily basis, it's usually this. Also, I'm not going to break it down. It is hot. It is a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield chambered in 45 ACP. So that's my two primary carries for my EDC. And then I also carry a zero tolerance Tiger Stripe on a daily basis. And then I don't have it yet because I just changed my clothes over, but I normally have a little pin light, and then a little fire starter kit is basically just a little ferro rod and sharpener all together, which I got from Sharpen's Best, which is pretty cool there. Again, it goes back to no affiliation. I've just used it and it works well. The fire starter gives off a really good arc. And once you get the hang of the sharpening process, it will put a nice fine edge back on your knife pretty quickly. I cut just about anything with my knives, so I will dull them up quick. So I hope that answered your question with these, and I figured I'd just throw in the knife just to kind of share a little bit more information. Once again, I appreciate you guys being here, watching my videos, giving them thumbs up. And until next round, you guys have a blessed day. I'll see you.